Hi Mark, thanks for joining us here at Winmau HQ again today. It's great to see you. Last time we spoke to you, I think, was just before the World Match Play and then the Premier League. How's the last few weeks been with televised darts back?
Yeah, it's obviously different, isn't it? We've got no crowd in, but it's good to have the players back, I think, as well. There's a lot of fans out there who want to see the game again. Yeah, they want to see it in person, but it's the next best thing getting to see on TV. I think, importantly, it gets the players back in emotion, getting playing darts, and then hopefully we can start reintroducing crowds soon.
And obviously we saw you commentating and playing in some of the online events as well, with like the Modus Tour and the Home Tour. How did you find that? Have you been keeping your arm in?
Yeah, it probably did me a big favour, really, because I just commentated at the beginning, but I thought I need to have a game, really, because obviously I'm having a year off, but I wanted to practice, and competitive practice the best you can get. And I got a real bug for it. I actually miss it now it's gone. It was thoroughly enjoyable. I was very lucky. And yeah, if I go on to get my tour card back in the new year, I'll owe a lot to that tour, because it got me off my backside practicing, and I was forced to do it. And yeah, I think it'll benefit me eventually.
And do you feel that even though it was just over sort of online and in your own home, it's still giving you that competitive edge against sort of the top of the game as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, none of us are tour card holders, so you can argue that it wasn't the highest standard, but some of the game's fantastic, and you know, the lads are taking it seriously. When we came offline and we were in like a Zoom chat, you could hear the frustrations go around if you lost a game, if you missed a double. I think emotion got the better of some players, but that's good, because we wanted to take it seriously, and I think it was a groundbreaking thing for Modus, and I enjoyed it, and it was a pleasure to be part of it.
And we've had you down here at Winmau, and you've been speaking to Lee this morning, having a bit of a change for your darts. Anything particularly you're looking for to just tweak things?
There's a slight design change on the barrel, which I like, which I sort of, I trust Lee. I've known him for a while now. I just go with it, and he's done that. There was a bit of an issue with my point. I needed somewhere to rest my finger, but it's like Lee does, and Winmau, they've taken care of me there, and I'm looking forward to getting practicing with him. So yeah, it's something different. They'll look a bit different to my other darts as well. So it's nice to have a change, and obviously I've had a year off, so half a year so far, and it's that change hopefully helped me in the back end now. So I've got up the practice, because Q School will happen in the new year, and I've got to hit the ground running.
Yeah, it'd be great to see you back at Q School and potentially getting your tour card back. We've had televised darts come back as well now, and we see you obviously doing the commentary on those kind of things. What's it been like, sort of the atmosphere and how it's been played out at Milton Keynes now in the bubble?
Yeah, it's my second stint at Milton Keynes now, so I'm kind of used to it. But it's strange at first. I mean, I think they've done a really good job, the PDC, as of Sky televising it as well. And yeah, it looks good on the screen. I think the players, some of them are finding it difficult because they like that atmosphere to feed on. But we are making the best of a bad situation, and you've got to credit the PDC who continuing getting the players playing. There's an autumn series coming up, so they're trying to honour those contracts for the players to compete, which is what's needed. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. We want the crowds back. We want it back to normal, obviously, like everything. But at the minute, they are really making the best of a bad situation, and I think it's been a fantastic effort. And
it's been a fantastic Premier League that we've seen so far this year, possibly one of the tightest that we've had. We're coming into Judgment Night as filming of this. What's been your thoughts this year in terms of the new guys coming in and how the Premier League's played out?
Yeah, I think it's in terms of the new guys, you can't question it this year. Glenn Durrant and Nathan Aspinall are both sitting in the top four at the minute, and Glenn's top of the league. Normally, you can have a few players go in and they struggle, but no, they've hit the ground running. It's been so competitive, and like you say, there's still Judgment Night to go ahead tonight, and there's 4 players who can potentially still be eliminated. I mean, it's a tough night ahead for them guys, particularly Rob Cross, but that's how it should be. It's the top players, and it should be competitive.
And that's speaking about the PDC side of the game over lockdown. Obviously, the sport has evolved quite a lot through this, as many other sports have. We've also heard about other things on sort of the amateur side and the BDO side of the game, and a lot of changes are happening there. As a BDO World Champion yourself and coming through the rankings and then moving over to the PDC, how much did the BDO and the amateur side of things give to you as a player coming up?
Yeah, it was a massive contribution for every player, really, because it's that casualness when you feel like you want to test yourself. I mean, I sort of thought, right, I'm going to start going to a few opens. You can just cherry pick where you want to go. So it's ideal. It's not as intense as the PDC was. You could sort of select tournaments to go to miss out. And I think, yeah, it's a big loss at the minute. The amateur game does need help, because you need to find the next stars. I mean, there are things in place. Steve Brown with his Mad Darts is hopefully going to take off, and that will help. But yeah, we definitely need something for the players, because that's where you create the new stars, where youngsters can have a go. I mean, the PDC's got the development, but they still want to test themselves in that senior environment. So definitely something needs to be addressed, but hopefully it will be.
Is there anything in particular you'd like to see in terms of the change of the amateur game, or is it just giving those players the chance to play competitive darts wherever you want, whether it be an open or it could potentially be a televised event?
Yeah, I think these guys need to play. I mean, my first memories of playing it was sort of you start progressing and you suddenly pull one of the top players. I specifically remember I was on the same board as John Walton once, and I'm thinking, wow, that's what these youngsters want, and people coming through, and not so much youngsters, people who just think, oh, I'm in a better position in my life now, my kids are grown up. You look at Ian White, who's excelled later on in his career. They want to go and challenge themselves, and without that at the minute, they're not going to get that aspect of it. So it does need to be addressed, but I'm sure there's people trying to do things, and I'm sure it will be addressed in the coming months. And
we've also seen here at Winmau, we work closely with the JDC and Steve Brown, obviously working on that to give youngsters a platform. How much do you think that adds to the youngsters coming up through the game now as well, compared to when you were first coming up?
It's brilliant what Brownie's doing, and it leads to the development tour of what the PDC are doing. I mean, as a youngster now, you can go to a development tour, win £2,000. When I was a youngster, you had youth events that you could win gift vouchers. There was no cash prize. There's a general career out there as a dart player now, which it wasn't when I was younger. So credit to the PDC, particularly Steve Brown as well, who's done fantastic things. Still a good player as well, Steve Brown. He's got his tour card back this year. Not that he's played much, but no, he's always trying to evolve things, Steve, and he's a big part in the future of the sport.
Well, thanks very much for joining us, Mark, and wish you all the best with the commentary and hopefully getting your tour card back at the end of the year.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.